The village of San Isidro was old, ancient. It was nestled deep within a valley in the Philippines, shrouded by dense jungle and steeped in tradition. The villagers knew the rules. They lived by them. They breathed them. These were not mere guidelines, but lifelines passed down through generations. One rule stood above all: never be caught outside after dark. The night belonged to something else, something ancient and hungry. The elders spoke of the manananggal, a creature of the night, they said, a blood-drinking monster that could separate its upper torso from its lower half, sprouting enormous bat wings and terrorizing the night. Its victims, those foolish enough to break the village curfew. Crisanto, a young farmer with calloused hands and a weary heart, was returning home from a late harvest. The sun, a fiery orb sinking below the horizon, cast long, eerie shadows across the rice paddies. He wiped the sweat from his brow, his mind heavy with worry. He had stayed too late. The harvest had been bountiful, yes, but now he was pushing his luck. The elders would not be pleased. They had warned him time and again. Crisanto quickened his pace, his sandals slapping against the dusty path. The air grew cooler, damper. The jungle around him seemed to press in, its breath heavy with the scent of damp earth and unknown dangers. An unsettling silence descended upon the path. The usual nocturnal symphony of insects and frogs had gone quiet. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. Crisanto felt a shiver crawl down his spine. He was alone, utterly alone. Then he saw it, a shadow. It detached itself from the darkness of the jungle, silhouetted against the last sliver of the setting sun. It was a woman, he thought at first. Her hair was long and black, but as she drew closer, Crisanto's blood ran cold. The shadow had no legs. Instead, it ended in a grotesque raw stump, and from its back 2 leathery wings unfolded, stretching wide like a predator baring its claws. Terror seized Crisanto. His mind screamed, urging him to run, to flee for his life. But his legs felt rooted to the spot, his body paralyzed by primal fear. The creature, the manananggal, hissed, its voice a guttural rasp that sent chills down his spine. Then, as if a switch had been flipped, Crisanto's survival instinct kicked in. He threw the basket of rice at the creature, momentarily distracting it. The manananggal screeched in fury, its long black tongue lashing out like a serpent's. Crisanto didn't waste a second. He scrambled back, his heart pounding against his ribs. He had to get away. He had to warn the others. But the manananggal was fast. It swooped down towards Crisanto, its eyes glowing with a malevolent red light. He could see its true form now, illuminated by the faint glow of the rising moon. Its face, once human, was now twisted into a grotesque mask of predatory hunger. Its teeth, sharp as shards of glass, glinted in the moonlight. The creature reeked of decay and a cloying sweetness that made Crisanto gag. He cried out as the manananggal's claws raked his arm, tearing through his shirt and drawing blood. The searing pain jolted him back into action. He couldn't give up, not now. Section 6. A Glimmer of Hope. As the creature prepared for another attack, its long tongue dripping with venomous saliva, Crisanto remembered the stories told by the village elders. They said that manananggal was vulnerable in its separated state. Its lower half, left behind in the jungle, was its only weakness. Could he use this knowledge to his advantage? It was a long shot, a desperate gamble. But it was all he had. He had to find the creature's other half. He had to destroy it. Section 7. Race Against Dawn. The night became a blur of terror and adrenaline. Crisanto, fueled by fear and a sliver of hope, led the manananggal on a deadly chase through the rice paddies and into the dense jungle. The creature's shrieks echoed through the trees, its shadow a constant menace behind him. He could hear the frantic beating of his own heart, a drum against the silence of the night. Time was running out. The sky was beginning to lighten in the east. Dawn was approaching. If he didn't act fast, he would be the creature's next meal. Section 8. Salvation's Light. Just as the first rays of sunlight pierced through the canopy, Crisanto stumbled into a clearing, and there in the center lay the manananggal's lower half. It was a grotesque sight, a woman's torso, severed at the waist, its organs still pulsating faintly. The stench of decay was overpowering. The manananggal screeched in fury, sensing its imminent demise. It swooped down towards Crisanto, its claws outstretched, ready to strike. But it was too late. The sunlight hit the creature's lower half, engulfing it in flames. The manananggal let out an ear-splitting wail as its body dissolved into dust. Section 9. Unsettled Peace. Crisanto collapsed to the ground, his chest heaving, his body racked with pain and exhaustion. He had survived. He had defeated the monster. But as the sun climbed higher in the sky, chasing away the shadows of the night, a chilling thought settled in his mind. He had destroyed the creature's upper half, yes. But what about its severed legs, its feet? Where were they? The jungle remained silent, its secrets hidden beneath a canopy of leaves. The threat, though unseen, lingered in the air. The rules of San Isidro had been broken, and the consequences were far from over.